What's going on now, guys? Back at you guys with a quick little presentation. Um, in this presentation, guys, I'm gonna talk to you guys about real quick. I'm gonna just talk to you guys about that's what I want to talk to you guys about. Um, have you ever gotten eerie feelings around certain people, and you can't necessarily put your hands on it, but just being around certain people, you just get an eerie feeling being around them? I used to think that was just me, but I believe when you're around certain people and when you get eerie feelings around about them, you that the reason why you're getting those types of feelings is because you're gauging their energy. Um, when you gauge people's energy, um, I believe it's a gift because in my younger days I didn't have that ability, but I believe I didn't have that ability, but I believe that when you're around, you know, when you're around certain people and the vibe just don't feel right, um, don't ignore that. That's one thing I had to learn. If you're around someone and the energy don't feel right, um, that's just a person that you want to avoid. That's somebody that you don't really want to deal with. You got to pay attention to energies when it come to people, vibes, you know, because if you're around someone and the vibe and energy just don't feel right, you need to pay attention to that because you never want to ignore what you feel. Just don't allow a person to drag you down. If you get negative energy from a person, don't allow that negative energy that you get from that person, don't allow that energy to drag you down. That's all you got to do. But never ignore certain feelings that you get around people, like just certain eerie type of feelings that you get around certain people. Don't ignore those feelings because those feelings are real. You know, if you're getting some eerie feelings, um, if you're getting eerie feelings around people, you want to be careful with that. You really want to be mindful with that because eerie feelings are real. And you know, if you're getting an eerie feeling from a person, evidently it's a reason why you're getting those types of feelings from that person. So always follow your gut intuition. And I feel like when you getting eerie feelings from a person, that'll let you know if you can deal with that person or if you can't deal with that person. You know, um, that's gonna give you insight on if you can deal with that person or not. Um, I'm very mindful about the energy and vibes that I get from people because I truly believe, like I always say, guys, vibes don't lie, energy don't lie, and if you ever get eerie feelings around a person, don't ignore those feelings because I used to try to ignore those feelings and I used to wonder like why am I getting eerie feelings around a person? That's because your intuition is at work. Never ignore those eerie feelings that you get when you're around certain people because those eerie feelings, that's your inner self speaking to you. That's your intuition letting you know to be mindful of this person and to not don't be careful with this person because you got to be careful dealing with certain people because I'm just a firm believer that energy don't lie when it come to people, guys. I've always said that, you know, when it come to dealing with human beings and people, energy don't lie. And whatever energy you getting from a person, that's gonna let you know, is this a person you need to deal with, or if this is a person that you need to keep at bay. That's why I'm very intuitive at this phase of my life when it comes to dealing with people. Like, I'm real intuitive when it comes to people's energy. I'm real skeptical about a person's energy because I don't ignore the energy that I get from a person. I don't. And I'm to a point in my life to where I'm no longer ignoring certain vibes and certain cues that I get from people. If you feel like this is a person you need to watch out for, this is a person you don't need to deal with, oh, I'm getting some real foul, sinister energy from this person, don't deal with them. Follow your heart, follow your intuition, because vibes don't lie, guys. And I've said it time and time again, it's true. Vibes do not lie. A lot of times when you get a bad feeling about a person, 9 times out of 10, you're usually right. And what I had to understand in my life is that don't allow the negative energy that a person has on them, don't allow that energy to taint you. Don't allow yourself to be affected by the negative energy of others. Because I used to allow myself to be affected. I used to allow don't I used to allow how I used to allow those negative energies to jump on me. Don't allow those negative energies to jump on you. You got to be. This is why, if you get an eerie feeling around a person, you just want to keep them at bay. You know, if you got to deal with them, speak to them, but don't engage much with them. If you got to be around them, if you're working with a person like this, you can speak to them, but don't engage much with them, because you don't want to entertain that negative energy that they got on them. And you don't want those negative energies, those negative frequencies that they have on them to affect you negatively. You know, because those negative frequencies that this person has on them can jump on you and cause you to act out of character. And you don't want that. This is why I say, and I wish I would have known this in my younger days, that if you get an eerie feeling about a person, don't ignore that. If you feel uncomfortable, uneasy around certain people, don't ignore that. You know, um, follow your intuition, because it won't fail you. If you're feeling uneasy around a person, it's obviously a reason to why you're feeling this way around that person. Because sometimes certain people will act out of pocket towards you, because the energy that you're carrying is positive and the energy that they're carrying is negative energy. So this is why I say, guys, just be vigilant. You know, um, don't ignore those feelings that you get when you're around certain people. Because I used to try to ignore the vibes that I would get from certain people. I'm not doing it anymore. If I'm getting any kind of bad energy from a person, any type of energy that's making me feel uneasy, just don't deal with that person. It's just that simple. Your intuition will never fail you, guys. But I used to think I was the only person that used to get this feeling, and I used to try to ignore it, but it's real. And I'm no longer ignoring the feelings that I get when I'm around people. You know, I'm no longer ignoring just certain feelings and just certain vibes that I would get when I would deal with people. So I just tell you guys, just be careful. You know, just be mindful of, energy, because that energy is real. Um, you know, energy. That energy, when it come to people, guys, it never lies. And in my younger days, when I would get, uneasy feelings around certain people, like I used to, I used to didn't know what it was or why I was feeling that way. And I used to try to ignore those feelings, but I'm just here to tell you guys, don't ignore anything that you feel when it come to people. You know, if it's something that make you feel out of place, if it's something that make you feel out of pocket when it come to a person, um, just be mindful, guys, and don't ignore what you feel, guys, because ignoring what you feel can cause you to end up in a bad position. Could cause you to get killed. That's something that I wish I never did in my younger days, ignoring just certain feelings that I had inside. You know, this is why I encourage you guys, be mindful, and you'll know the right decision to make. I don't got to tell you guys. You guys have a good evening. Happy Sunday.